What storm are you facing right now? Hmm? You might be thinking, there is no way God can use this in my life. Maybe you're going through a divorce and hope feels distant. Or perhaps you've lost your job. I don't know what storm you're enduring, but I believe that whatever it is, God can use it for His purpose. God uses storms and trials. He is always in control and has a work to accomplish in your life. So don't recoil when you see the storm clouds gathering. God promises to see us through whatever storm we face. Psalm 46:1 says, God is a refuge and strength, an ever present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear no matter what happens because we know the Savior. The waters that threaten to rise above you are under Jesus Christ's feet. Just picture Jesus walking on the sea as if he were walking on a marble floor. The very water the disciples feared, water that threatened to drown them, was completely under his control. Visualize Jesus today, triumphant over your storm. The Bible tells us that God has exalted Jesus above every principality, power, and name, both in this world and in the one to come. Though it may be hard to understand in the midst of injustice, pain, and mystery, we can still trust that Jesus is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He has your storm under control. So the next time you find yourself in the middle of pain, look for Jesus. Look through the fog, the wind, the rain, and find your Savior. He is coming. It may look too dark for you to see Him, but He is coming. He cannot leave you alone to perish. And remember, He is coming over the very waves that you fear, the waves that threaten to break you, or the pavement beneath His blessed feet. You don't serve a God who is disinterested in your life. He's compassionate, caring, and concerned about you. When life becomes difficult and the winds try to blow you away, remember the promises of God. The Bible is full of them. Take for instance Hebrews 13:5, where God says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Even when you cannot see God, He sees you. You may not feel His presence right now, but that doesn't mean He's not there. He's there. Not because we feel Him, but because He promised to be. Sometimes God calms the storm, other times He walks through it with us. Both are good, but often we expect God to deliver us from the storm rather than guide us through it. However, God's plan might be to walk alongside you in the storm, teaching and strengthening you through it. If you're in the middle of a storm, it doesn't necessarily mean you've made a wrong choice or in the wrong place. Storms are a part of the Christian journey. The holiest path is always not the smoothest. God sometimes leads us into storms by divine appointment. Take heart knowing that even in a storm, you may be doing the will of God because storms teach us in obedience to Christ. Here's a truth that could change the way you approach pain. Sometimes in God's good plan, bad things happen. Look at the Bible. David, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Elijah all experienced trials despite God's great plans for their lives. God had a plan for David to be king, yet he faced spears from a crazy king. Elijah had a queen hunting him down. Even in God's best plans, there are valleys and trials. Nothing is truly harmful to the Christian because even our worst trials are like rough waves pushing our golden ships home. My friend, you and I are on a journey, and our ultimate home is heaven. The storms you fear are exactly what God is using to bring you safely to shore. God asks, do you trust me by now? Don't you believe that I'm leading you somewhere good? He is in the front seat of this journey, saying, if you'll trust me, you'll see where we're going. Isaiah 43:2 promises, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. It's time to trust the driver instead of panicking in the back seat. No matter what you go through in life, you can have hope because you know Jesus. You know your destination. When you believe in Jesus Christ, the Savior who died and rose again, you can rest knowing He triumphed over death, hell, and your storm. You haven't sinned too much for Jesus. He's a better Savior than you are a sinner. He can forgive and cleanse you, and He died with your storm in mind. Satan will whisper that you won't make it, that there's no hope. But if you stand on God's promises, Jeremiah 29:11 says, I have plans to prosper you and to give you hope and a future. You know the truth. God works all things together for the good of those who love Him. No matter how rough the seas, the captain will carry you safely to shore. He can handle your burden. He can handle your storm. Give it to Him. God bless you.